Hi. You want to give me a hug? Hi.
Give me a hug หรือกอดผมสิครับคือคำพูดแรกที่นิก วอยาชิชบอกกับทีมงานไทย PBS เช่นเดียวกับที่เขาบอกกับทุกคนที่เขาพบเพราะนี่คือการทักทายที่เขาจะได้สัมผัสกับคู่สนทนาแทนการทักทายด้วยการจับมือของชาวต่างชาติทั่วๆไปเมื่อถามถึงการเดินทางมาประเทศไทยและต้องพบกับสภาพการจราจรของกรุงเทพนิกแสดงให้เห็นถึงตัวตนของเขาที่คิดบวกอยู่เสมอเขาบอกกับทีมงานว่าเขาคิดว่าการได้มาเห็นรถติดในประเทศไทยเป็นประสบการณ์ที่สนุกอย่างหนึ่ง
Were you shocked with traffic jam in Bangkok?
That was fun.
ตลอดการสนทนากว่าครึ่งชั่วโมงแม้เขาจะเหน็ดเหนื่อยจากการทอล์กโชว์ยาวหลายชั่วโมงในคืนก่อนและต่อด้วยการให้สัมภาษณ์กับสื่อมวลชนไทยหลายสำนักแต่เขาก็พูดคุยกับทีมงานด้วยความตั้งใจและมีอารมณ์ขันสอดแทรกเป็นระยะ การพบกันครั้งนี้นิก วอยาชิชยังแสดงความสามารถหลายอย่างต่อหน้าทีมงานนอกจากการเซ็นหนังสือแล้วสิ่งที่ทำให้ทีมงานทึ่งในตัวเขาก็คือการโชว์ใช้นิ้วเท้าเล็กๆพิมพ์ข้อความ I love you very much Thank you for having me here บนโทรศัพท์มือถือของเขาได้อย่างรวดเร็วและคล่องแคล่วเรียกได้ว่าทุกคนที่ได้เห็นยอมรับเป็นเสียงเดียวกันว่าถ้าพิมพ์แข่งกันคงแพ้คุณนิกแน่ๆเมื่อทีมงานบอกว่าความสามารถของเขาเป็นสิ่งที่มหัศจรรย์มากเขาบอกว่าไม่ใช่มันคือทักษะที่ทุกคนสามารถฝึกฝนได้
No worries.
Magic.
Not magic, but practice.
Really, without no limits.
I was born in Melbourne, Australia.
นิก วอยาชิชเป็นชาวออสซี่ปัจจุบันอายุ 30 ปี เขาเกิดมาพร้อมกับร่างกายที่ไม่มีแขนมีแต่ขาสั้นๆข้างเดียวที่มีนิ้วโป้งโผล่ออกมา2 นิ้วเท่านั้นแต่นิกไม่ยอมแพ้ไม่โทษโชคชะตาเขามองโลกในแง่ดีมองความบกพร่องของร่างกายคือการทดสอบจากพระเจ้านิกพยายามฝึกฝนช่วยเหลือตัวเองตั้งแต่เล็กไม่เรียกร้องให้ใครดูแลเป็นพิเศษนอกจากจะใช้ชีวิตประจำวันได้ตามปกติแล้วเขายังเล่นกีฬาได้หลายประเภทและไม่ใช่กีฬาธรรมดาแต่เป็นกีฬาที่ค่อนข้างผาดโผนและต้องใช้ความแข็งแกร่งของร่างกายอย่างมากเช่นการเล่นเซิร์ฟหรือว่ากระโดดร่มด้านครอบครัวนิกเพิ่งสมรสกับคานาเอมิยาฮาร่าเมื่อเดือนกุมภาพันธ์ปีที่แล้วและมีลูกชาย1 คน
Settled into their house, an hour north of Los Angeles, California.
ด้านการเรียนนิกต่อสู้กับกฎหมายห้ามคนพิการเข้าเรียนโรงเรียนชั้นนำได้สำเร็จจนเรียนจบปริญญาตรีด้านการค้าเอกการวางแผนด้านการเงินและบัญชีปัจจุบันเป็นนักเขียนเจ้าของหนังสือ Life Without Limitsนอกจากนั้นนิกยังเป็นผู้บริหารระดับสูงขององค์กรไม่แสวงหาผลกำไรและเป็นนักพูดให้กำลังใจเดินทางไปสร้างแรงบันดาลใจให้กับคนทั่วโลกมาแล้วสิ่งที่นิกมักจะบอกกับผู้ที่กำลังท้อถอยในชีวิตก็คือขอให้หันมามองชีวิตของเขาที่แม้ไม่มีแขนไม่มีขาแต่ก็พยายามที่จะลุกขึ้นครั้งที่1 2 3หรืออาจจะมากถึงครั้งที่100 ครั้งที่พันแม้จะยังลุกไม่ได้แต่ถ้าพยายามและไม่ท้อวันหนึ่งจะลุกเดินได้สำเร็จและมีชีวิตที่มีความสุขได้เหมือนกับเขา
Alright. My story is a story of redemption. Help us share it with the world.
What's the special message you bring to Thailand?
That we're all beautiful and to know that there is a love that's unconditional that we can all have in our life and it helps us to have faith. Love is the foundation of faith and faith is believing in purpose and a greater purpose that sometimes you cannot see. And so I share my story about how I couldn't see purpose and hope in my life and how to discover that. And to never give up. You know, many people want to give up. Many people have different brokenness in their life. And I'm just so thankful for Bridge Communications to come and help me share a message of hope throughout the whole nation of Thailand, young and old. And because we all have brokenness, we all have ups and downs, and we all need some inspiration to get through.
What's the Thai sentence you greeted Thai people?
I don't know. Sawaddi, right? Sawaddi
สวัสดีครับ
Yeah, sawaddi krab.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
I heard the cheering crowd clapping their hands when they heard that.
Yeah, we were in Chiang Mai as well, and there are 12,000 people there too, and they loved it when I was speaking a little Thai. So I love Thai food, love Thai people, and everyone knows that Thailand is the land of smiles, so it's been great here, and really experienced as well some really cool traffic in Bangkok.
Yes, I heard
very
you
cool.
stuck in traffic for 2 hours last
Yeah,
night.
but I was sleeping. It's okay. It was good. I actually took it as a blessing.
Quite an extra experience for Thailand. in
Yeah, it was
Thailand.
awesome. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
You said your message focus on love, on hope, on faith. Is it always the same that your core message like this whenever you talk?
Yeah, I think the universal message of hope and love and faith, goes everywhere for everyone at any given time. I am a Christian, and so I'm very respectful for understanding that other people, may not share the same religion as I, but I share about how my faith in Jesus and His resurrection and heaven helps me to know that He loves me, that I'm here for eternal purposes. And I think within everyone, no matter what nationality or culture you're from, no matter how old you are, we're all looking for something more. We're looking for, deep within our soul, we want to believe that we live forever. And, what is my purpose here on this earth? And without eternity, it doesn't really make sense. I'm not going to live just for the sake of living, because then I might as well have every pleasure and everything in this world. But we know that money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame, fortune, all these things, if you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. So I'm trying to open people's eyes to know that there is something greater than just circumstances, something greater called joy, that you can have joy even while your circumstances are still in your life. And to know that it's not about what you have or what you achieve, but who you are, that really is the key factor of impacting people.
It sounds very beautiful, but it must be hard to really do it in practice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I never share anything that I don't put into practice. I'm actually sharing the experiences that I had as a child. I actually went through depression between ages 8 and 12 myself, and not believing in the value of me, and not loving even myself. I felt like I was worthless because of bullying and teasing at school, and actually that brought me to an attempted suicide at age 10. I tried to drown myself in 15 centimeters of water, and I felt like giving up. I tried to give up, and those are the things that I share, because I know many people are at least thinking of giving up. If I don't have a vision, then why am I here? And so I want people to never give up, and so I share my story, and all the things that I share are never complicated. They're very simple. The greatest things in life are simple. Some things that I believe by faith, some people think I'm a fool for believing in my faith, but I don't see that, and I see how my faith has given me peace and strength. And I know a lot of religious people, but I know a lot of religious people who are still scared. I know a lot of religious people who are religious just because their parents were religious. I know a lot of religious people who just try to be a good person. But I'm more than just trying to be a religious person. I want to put love into action. I want people to know that there is a hope beyond this life, and a joy that really comes, and it's more than just being a good person, because I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But with forgiveness of the things that I've done wrong, and the presence of God in my life, now I know that I have someone greater on my team.
That's what you really believe inside.
That's right.
It means you have deep connection with God.
That's right.
Do you pray every night?
I pray
every day?
every day.
Every day?
I pray every meal. I pray during the day. We pray in the car. We pray everywhere. We pray on the plane. Me and my team. We know that when we pray, God hears the prayers. And, I've actually seen miracles. I've seen blind people seeing when we pray, deaf people hearing. I have a pair of shoes in my closet just in case God gives me arms and legs. But I don't
It's still in your closet?
Yeah.
Do you intend to leave it there
yeah,
for a long time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I don't have arms and legs, I'm still happy, and I'm still being a purposeful life. But, you know, I know many people more that I prayed for and they did not get a miracle. And so there is hope that first of all, God can give you a miracle, but if he doesn't give you a miracle, you can still be a miracle for someone else. And the beautiful story I always share is when I met this little boy with no arms, no legs in California. And I looked at him and he looked at me, and I saw my mum hug his mum and my dad hug his dad. And
That's
this boy with
beautiful.
no limbs, he was smiling. And I went to his school last year to talk about bullying, and now he's the coolest kid in the school. And so what I've realized is, you know, if I can just really make a difference in someone's life, one person's life, it's all worth it.
Energies can be transferred, isn't it? Because I can notice when people listen to you, they must have felt that energy being lifted up.
I think people see a lot of, you know, energy of positivity and faith and strength. And people still wonder, though, how did he do it? How did he get through? And it's one step at a time and praying. And with a loving family who helped me. And not everyone has a loving family like I did. So I count myself lucky. I count myself blessed. But now I can be family for other people who don't have a family. And so that's the perspective. And I dream big. And I don't just say that. I do dream big and I don't give up. And it's not that I'm strong every day. It's not that I smile every day. But I know that through my ups and downs, it's a journey of life. And you'll always learn more about yourself in this life, more on a bad day than a good day.
When do you have bad days? I'm just wondering because you always look so happy, smiling all the time.
In 2010, I actually went through a burnout. I spoke 1,000 times from years 2007 to 2010. I cover that in my Unstoppable book. And I have other books. I have one, Life Without Limits, and then a children's book called Give Me a Hug. And in all of these things, I want people to know that I'm not a superhero. I'm not bulletproof. You know, we do go through those down times. And in fact, that last downtime I went through was only 12 weeks into my relationship with my wife. And we were dating at the time, and I was very, very depressed. I was crying for 2 weeks. I had anxiety attacks. I had panic attacks. My hair was falling out. I couldn't eat. It was a serious stage of my life, and I felt like, what happened? You know, all these plans that I had, all these businesses that we started, we failed, and you know, you know, we were speaking so many times in 4 years. I just became so tired and burnt out, and I lost myself nearly. You know, where I need to make sure I have enough time for my faith, and then my family, and then the mission afterwards. And so, keeping balance and having that grounding really helps a lot.
Did you work too much during that
I did.
time?
I worked way too hard, way too hard. And so that's our dream and goal as well, that through media, through internet, through movies, through a magazine, through a TV talk show, we want to really try to reach millions of people around the world without having to travel to every single country face to face all the time. But I'm coming back to Thailand, don't worry.
Please. When do you plan to come back?
We don't know yet. Could be 2 or 3 years from now. But Bridge Communications will definitely let people know.
Talking about your parents, they had 3 ultrasounds, but they didn't find that or any indication that you would be born without arms or limbs. When did they turn the page to really accept this truth?
It took about 4 months for my mum to really accept it and be okay with it. My dad straight away said he's beautiful. And so my mum couldn't hold me, she couldn't breastfeed me. They were also, of course, scared to have a second child because they don't know what happened to my deformed body. And my brother and sister were born after me with arms and legs. And so they're fine and everything's fine. And my son, he has arms and legs. So it's just one of those things that happened that took time and prayer and love. They had a loving family on both sides as well who encouraged them. And so I think family is very, very important.
Were you anxious before your baby was born? That he may...
Yeah. You know, we were thinking about if Kiyoshi would have arms and legs. And, you know, we weren't so worried and scared, but it definitely was something that we were thinking about. And so we saw the ultrasound and we saw the fingers and toes, and so we were excited.
Must be relief moment for you.
Amazing. I mean, hearing his heartbeat for the first time, feeling him kick for the first time, and then hearing his cry. It was just beautiful.
People must be wondering, how do you manage with intimacy.
Yeah, well, you don't really need arms and legs for intimacy. Yeah.
With your talk in Thailand, you have inspired people very much. And you have to speak about the same thing all the time, mainly about hope, love, and faith. Have you ever get tired of this message?
No, because the message is such a powerful, transforming message for people to hear. And I don't take credibility for it because God gave me that story. And so I thank God for everything. And I thank God for even the times where I was very scared about how intimate I could be with my children, how am I going to hug them, how am I going to hold them, you know, all these sorts of things. But I realized just how much more beautiful all these things are. And I want people to know that it's not about what broken pieces you have. It's about having faith that beautiful things can still come from broken pieces. And so every time I get up in front of a crowd, whether it's a small crowd or a large crowd, I know that there is someone there who does need to hear this message, who is maybe contemplating on giving up in life.
You can write, you can swim, you can surf, you can play skateboarding. What else do you like to do next?
Golfing and swimming. I did skydiving, scuba diving, riding a horse, all these sorts of things we did. I don't know, I'd like to maybe just drive a boat one day all by myself. That would be pretty cool. I like boats. Yeah, I want to come back to Thailand, come on vacation and
To the south
go
of
on a
Thailand.
boat. Yeah, I want to go on those nice beaches I'm hearing about, and I've seen the photos. And I don't want to go without my wife and my son, so we'll come back next time.
Your video clips, no arms, no legs, no worries, having 41 million people come to see the clip. Why do you think people are having so much interest in you?
I think it's a relevant message. I think everyone wants to know the truth of their value and be affirmed in it. Everyone wants to believe that they're beautiful, but they don't hear it from anyone. And so hearing it from someone like me, you know, it's like, wow, this guy without arms and legs, he loves everybody, he loves life, he doesn't give up. If Nick can do it, then I can do it. So I think it's just motivational and it touches people's hearts.
Do you want to carry on being motivational speaker for a long, long time, or what's your next plan?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the magazine, the TV talk show, the movie that we're working on in the next 5 years, you know, we really want to reach 7 billion people. So you'd have to speak, of course. I want to speak. I want to go in stadiums. I want to, you know, set up meetings here in Thailand next time, you know, one that's purely motivational and then one that's purely, you know, more faith-based and a big crowd. You know, we had very big arenas, you know, and still people couldn't get in. And so many more people, they asked, you know, can I come back? And we're going to do bigger ones next time. And so we'll be working on that. We'll be dreaming about that. And yeah, I want to be a speaker. I want to continue to speak and write books. I have many more books to write. And I really believe that the next generation, if they're looking for an older brother sort of voice or encouragement or inspiration or comfort, I think they're going to be able to find that in my books.
You are away from your wife right now. When you are away from home, who is taking care of you in daily routine?
Yeah, I have a caregiver who comes with me in the traveling days. They brush my teeth, they comb my hair, they dress myself up, take care of all my personal hygiene and just anything that I need physically to help me function and go around the world and do what we do. And so it's a great team that we have from Life Without Limbs, and you can definitely check out our world travels on lifewithoutlimbs.org.
Yes. And how do you connect with your wife right now? Because you are in Thailand, she's in America.
We're FaceTiming all the time.
All the time?
Twice a day, one in the morning, one at night. So it's a bad time zone change, difference. But yeah, FaceTime is what we use.
How do you see yourself as the president of Life Without Limbs?
I'm just thankful that we can, you know, set it up in a way that we've given $500,000 away to charities for orphanages, setting sex slaves free and prostitutes free, and just seeing a lot of people get medical equipment and wheelchairs and all that sort of thing. So we like to help in that way. But the biggest platform from Life Without Limbs is going in a country on a faith-based platform, and really just trying to bring my testimony and giving people an opportunity to really pray to God. And we can pray together and you know, pray that God helps them and heals them and all these sorts of things. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to as we travel around the world.
Thailand is a Buddhist country. We
Yes.
have different kind of faith. You are Christian. Do you have to adapt the message to people with different faith?
What I like about Thailand is that it's not a closed country. It's quite open country. There's no such restrictions, if you will, and people have free will to what they believe in. And I know that Christianity is very, very small here, and Buddhism is the largest religion. And so, you know, wherever I talk motivationally, you know, I talk about my faith in my personal way and in respect. I don't disrespect someone because of their religion. I love all people. But, you know, if they want to know where I get my joy, then I share about those things.
It doesn't hold you back, isn't it? The idea of people are having different faith around the world and you have to be on many countries.
Yeah, really, what it is me wanting to just bring a message of hope, and whoever wants the story of Nick Vujicic, you know, faith is the core of my strength. So without mentioning my faith, my story is not told in full, and I'm still doing as much respect as possible, and I'm not forcing anyone to be a Christian at all. But if they want a real encounter and joy and peace and strength and love and happiness that I have, then they find out more about my books or my website, or they come to a faith-based meeting.
Does it worry you to see how international politics are evolving, seeing violence could be coming up in Syria or Middle East?
Yeah, you know,
Islam?
it's very concerning. That's why we are embracing as much as possible to travel in a world that you still can travel in. There may be a time in this world where you cannot travel as much, be more restrictive, more dangerous. Have I gone to the Middle East before? Yes. Will I go again to the Middle East one day? Yes. And so different seasons, you know. And so we pray about every invitation that we have. We have 28,000 invitations for me to speak, and you know, want to travel around the world. So we are cautioned, but we're not scared, and we do everything in love and wisdom, prayerfully. So I'm not scared about it, but I, of course, am watching the news every single day.
Do you see yourself as a spiritual leader?
Spiritual leader? Well, I was on the spiritual leadership panel at the World Economic Forum in January 2011 at Davos, Switzerland. And it was a great experience. I've met some really influential spiritual leaders all around the world. I would like to see, you know, people seeing that my spiritual aspect of life is the change X factor, if you will. But I also want to see the next generation really understand the power that they have in coming together. 1 billion people today in the world are hungry, 10 million slaves all around the world. And I have millions of dollars to give away, but we have a goal that within the next 5 to 7 years that we would have a 10 million people army on social media to give $1 a month, and to actually go around the world and give money back and help the orphans, help the disabled, help the sick, and build housing and all those sorts of things, and bring food. So that's the dream, that's the goal. I would, you know, I think the world's really going to see us as just an older brother to the next generation, helping them be all that they can be.
How do you like to see the world that your son is going to grow up?
You know, we are in Australia, and I know Asia, homeschooling is not such a popular thing. But in America, it's quite popular. And with all the budget cuts and all the violence in some schools in America and all these sorts of things, we are, as parents, my wife and I, we've decided that we're going to be homeschooling our son for at least the first 10 to 13 years of his life. And he can come travel with us and have an education that school won't give him. So I would love my son to go to a school with no bullying. But it's not about sheltering him, it's about understanding that he can be so strong to come through anything and overcome it and understand what's going on. A lot of people don't analyze these things enough.
Why do bullies pick on me? Well, I don't know. They just pick on me. Well, no.
How did you fight then?
With forgiveness and love, because I realized that these bullies actually have a difficult time at home. Maybe they have a dysfunctional home. Maybe they're being abused, and hurting people hurt people. Some people do it because of attention, and they're so insecure within themselves that they try and put on this front strong face. And so I go up to him and I say, please stop it, you know, and it doesn't always help. But one of the bullies, it did help. I came up to him and I said, stop it, I love you, I forgive you, give me a hug. And they're like, what? And then they never tease me again. And so I think love is the greatest power, and one of the things that I've learned, and I'm still learning more and more, is the power of learning to love your enemies.
Have you completely forgiven those people who bully you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you have to continue to forgive, because, see, I need forgiveness from people because I'm not perfect. And so if I need forgiveness, then other people need forgiveness. If I need grace, then they need grace. And so it goes two ways, right? And so that's together as a nation, and even in a working team. You know, that's one of the things that we need to make sure that we keep on forgiving one another, growing, learning together, raising each other up.
These days, if you get tired, get angry, or feel sorry, getting worried, how do you cope with these feelings?
If I'm angry or if I'm very emotional, I take deep breaths in first, because that always helps. I have people praying for me all the time. I pray as well, and I try not to speak while I'm angry, because then you'll say the wrong things and you'll just overreact. And I have a lot to work on as far as that's concerned. But you know, I think prayer and reading the scriptures helps me a lot.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you do for this country, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.